Muy buenas a todos y a todas. Hoy os traigo una entrevista al arquitecto, a la cabeza pensante, al alma, al mecanismo de este bebé llamado Kingdom Come Deliverance. Aquí está. O de otra de sus grandes obras, de una obra de arte llamada Mafia, del año 2002. Y esta entrevista está hecha por unos historiadores que, creedme, que han hecho un gran trabajo. Y todo comenzó ayer cuando estaba por YouTube y de repente me aparece un vídeo, no sé si por el destino o cómo fue, y me puse a verlo. Era un vídeo que indicaba ser una entrevista a Warhorse Studios. Pues empecé a verlo, continué viéndolo, terminé viéndolo y había pasado básicamente casi una hora y quería más, quería más contenido, me había encantado. Entonces lo primero que hice fue mirar, y había pocas visitas en el vídeo, miré el canal, como ahí estáis viendo, y sí, desgraciadamente un canal pequeñito, un canal de 200 y pico suscriptores. Esto es desgraciadamente el ADN de YouTube. Canales que dan información, canales divulgativos, canales interesantes, escondidos entre la maleza. Así que lo primero que pensé es: este vídeo lo tiene que ver más gente. Esta entrevista la tiene que ver más gente, porque además os digo que está subtitulada. Ellos la han subtitulado, está también editada y demás, así que no hay problema. Podéis verlo en español con los subtítulos y demás. Me puse en contacto con ellos. De golpe me puse en contacto con ellos. Ahí estáis viendo. Son unos historiadores, la mayoría españoles, salvo uno que es suizo. Tienen una revista online de divulgación en la que hacen artículos de investigaciones de temática histórica, geográfica. Se llaman el Octavo Historiador. Y básicamente nos hemos mantenido en contacto y al final la cosa ha quedado así. En este vídeo tenéis, digamos que una edición hecha por mí de 10 minutos, ¿vale? 10 minutos de una entrevista que dura aproximadamente unos 55 minutos, que os dejo abajo en un post fijado, ¿vale? Que es directamente hacia el canal de ellos, como digo, casi de una hora. Y lo mío es, digamos que podríamos llamar casi como un tráiler, ¿vale? O sea, 10 minutos editados, escogidos. Recordad que hay trailers que duran 10 minutos, acordados del de Far Cry 3, ¿de acuerdo? Bueno, pues eso, es un pequeño tráiler, no quiero espoliaros, de verdad, no quiero entrar en detalles, quiero que lo veáis. Y de verdad, cuando veáis esto, meteros abajo y miraos el vídeo entero, ¿vale? Porque merece muchísimo, créeme, muchísimo la pena. Esta entrevista la hace uno de los historiadores, llamada Patricia, ahí la estáis viendo, y bueno, se comunica tanto con Daniel Vávra como con Tobías, el manager de prensa, ¿de acuerdo? Entonces, de verdad, os dejo con la entrevista ya, una edición, y os digo una cosa más, aunque la entrevista y Daniel Vávra hace respuestas muy extensas, lo mismo que el manager, en la propia edición no os creáis que están completas, o sea, son mucho más largas. Lo que pasa es que son, como digo, respuestas sólidas, respuestas extendidas, ¿vale? Y en la edición no están ni enteras siquiera. O sea, aparte de todo el contenido que no está puesto en esta edición de 10 minutos. Así que, sin más dilación, os dejo con ella y luego volvemos. Ahí dentro.
Okay, and having in mind that the game begins in 1403, we suppose that we will see the first years of the Hussite movement, the internal problems of the Catholicism, and the beginning of the Protestant Reform. Do you think that those subjects can upset religiously or religious sensibility?
We have there are other things that can upset religious sensibilities much more than those things in the game, I would say. Generally, we touch this subject a little, not that much. Generally, it's a setup for Hussite wars. So basically, in one of the first scenes in the game, people are discussing two popes. So the schism. And they are arguing which pope is the right one and stuff. So it's present. Then several priests in the game are kind of like really that type of priests that were criticized by Hus and stuff. So they are the guys who are enjoying the rich life and living in sin, basically.
Why have you choose the medieval ages? I mean, it's a very used age, and normally if you use medieval people, you should use dragons.
Well, our country has very long heritage of like basically in every city there's a castle or chateau, or the centers of cities are Renaissance, Baroque, and Gothic, most of them. So we are surrounded with history here, luckily, I would say. I'm living in a building that's originated in 14th or 15th century, and I'm in the middle of Gothic area of Prague, and I see castle from my windows on one side, and one of the most famous Baroque churches in the world from the other window. So I like it. My grandparents took me to all the castles when I was young, and it annoys me that, and it really annoys me that I don't know, samurais are more popular than knights in Western world. That our own history, our own heritage.
And some other enterprises that do historical games say that it is not necessary to have an historian in their teams. What do you think about it?
Let's say that I really, it's like kind of like a lazy approach. Even if you decide not to have historian on the team, most of the writers, for example, and I really hate it, they kind of like ignore facts, and they say their excuse usually is that they need to create interesting story. So, and the facts are against the story, so they need to kind of like twist it a little bit so it works. It creates a better story, and I totally disagree with that. In most of the cases, in most of the movies I saw and I heard that they changed the history in order to have better story. And when I knew how the actual history happened, the history was more interesting than the story. So I totally disagree with that, and I hate when I see a Viking movie and they have armors from 16th or 17th century. I like, why? What's the reason? I don't like when you have a medieval movie and all the castles are kind of like gray stone with torches, and all the people wear brown, dirty rags on them. It's not how it looks at all. It was absolutely different. Everything was colorful. People were clean. Their clothes were much more high quality than today. They were very expensive usually. So it's like, it's ridiculous. And thanks to these movie cliches, our knowledge about our history is absolutely twisted. I even considered the thing that we could do reconstructions of some, and I would love to do it. So basically we reconstructed several actual places that are today different than they were 600 years ago. So basically the monastery that it's in the game, it's like really as accurate reconstruction of the monastery as it looked at the beginning of 15th century. And basically you could have some kind of virtual reality demo at the monastery for the visitors to see how it looked at those times. And we are able to do it for any place. We can like, we have the technology and we can basically reconstruct any historical site and let people walk in it and see how it looked back then, which is quite unique. And I would like to, sometimes in the future, I would like to explore these areas to make this possible, for example. So if you go if you go to Rome, it's super cool, like a lot of historical sites and stuff. If you go to the locations of our game today, it's like a couple of villages and broken castle. That's like, there's not much remaining of it. So and it's kind of like a little bit poorer region. So it's really like remote location. Even in our country, it's like kind of like a little bit remote location with not very tourist friendly place, I would say. That's the main issue. But the landscape is beautiful there. The Sassau River is beautiful and everything. There are and like few kilometers from there are much bigger sites than what we have in the game. But the reason why we chose this location is that something happened there. The important things happened in the places. So there's a castle, big famous castle, 5-10 kilometers from the location where our game is. And I was seriously considering to have it in the game, but nothing happened there at the time. Nothing. It wasn't involved in the events in our game at all. So it's not there. And probably it would look much more epic if it was there, but it's not. That was my decision.
And finally, looking forward to the future of the video games, I don't know if you want or if you will do another video game. If you do it, will it be again in Central Europe in the same period, or are you thinking about other periods, other locations?
Well, so far we already have, of course, some plans, and I cannot speak about them yet. Generally, I am interested in other areas, cultures, regions as well. So I like, for example, I love Assassin's Creed, the latest Assassin's Creed, because like I think that their depiction, the visual depiction of the Egypt and what people did and stuff is really, really, really nice. I'm waiting when they release this historical mod for it. They said that they will do some kind of like exploration historical part only. So I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, there are many things that I would like to explore. I like ancient civilizations, for example. It's super interesting thing. And lately there were huge discoveries that totally change how we look at it. So it seems that our history of humankind is much older than we originally thought. Like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, it's something absolutely wow. What is this? How it was built? So even the pyramids are kind of like weird. Nobody actually knows. Like there's a lot of new discoveries about them that change how we. And I'm not speaking about conspiracies now. There are things that are really new, even in a serious archaeology. So that's one thing that interests me a lot. The fall of Rome and barbarians in Europe, the big movement of nations. I don't know how it's called in English. The tribes. Yeah. So that's something interesting. The beginning. I love Vikings. So. And Vikings, they are not like just Norway and England. They basically established Russia. I think they founded Moscow so it's really they went to Constantinople. So like it spreads all over the Europe and Mediterranean area. So these things are super interesting. I lately saw James Cameron, the Titanic director. He basically discovered Atlantis. Have you seen the documentary?
No.
He made a documentary looking for Atlantis, and actually it's in Portugal.
Bueno, pues ya está. Espero que hayáis disfrutado de verdad de esos 10 minutos. Y la verdad es que, de nuevo, gracias a este grupo que ha hecho un magnífico trabajo. Durante meses me consta para llevar a cabo esto. Y bueno, quería dar más promoción, la que yo he podido humildemente desde mi canal. Y os aconsejo definitivamente que os metáis y que veáis la entrevista completa, ¿de acuerdo? Y ¿qué más decir? Que el que no haya jugado a este juego todavía está a tiempo, porque ya hay muchos bugs que lo han ido arreglando. Y el que lo esté descubriendo gracias a este vídeo, de verdad, es un juego que, como ellos mismos, los propios historiadores lo comunican en esta entrevista, es espléndido y es uno de los juegos con más rigor histórico. Así que nos vemos en un próximo vídeo y muchas gracias.